Hello, world. We are going to start part two. And so this is where we left off, was on the class granularity video. That's a tough word to say. Granularized is not a word because granulated is the correct uh, conjugation of that word. Yeah. I just fucked that one up. So, anyways, he talks this crazy. Yeah, I got it right. He fucked all this shit up about black trans teenagers or whatever. And then he goes into class granularity being a form of us giving retribution. And I forget what he says before. It's like selective retribution, essentially, what it is. And my question to you, Andrew, if you would ever answer me, is why do you hate black farmers? Right? So,
Yeah, right? No, that is the feeling I got. That is it's like, dude, why are you what? So the unfortunate thing about policy, and this is actually where a point that like you have made and we should probably continue to make is that like he's so unclear, like he contradicts himself all the time, and then like is incredibly vague, and like it's like, what do you, so you say this and then you say this. So he talks about basically how you need racially driven progressive policies to
make up for.
properly address historical wrongs. And it's like,
Correct.
yes, exactly, you're correct there. But then he's like, fuck black farmers.
Yeah,
I'm,
exactly.
yes, thank you.
Right?
Like that's
Exactly.
it. It's
Like,
like, why
no,
are we giving them a leg up? And it's like, you
why? So,
said it.
why?
You just said why.
Exactly. So, what? So, why do you hate black farmers? Right. So, anyways, I don't, and this the other thing too is that I would really like to have a conversation with him because I really think that me and him could have a fun conversation because of the way we are. He's only given you the opportunity to have a conversation with him. But, anyways, with that being said, one of the things that he talks about that I really, really agree with, and this what you said also is like you agree with one part of what he says, and then he says the other part, and it's like, wait, what? Um, but he talks about how changing laws is not enough to just fix generational trauma. Or not so much that he says that it's not going to happen overnight. Like just the fact that we changed redlining laws doesn't mean black people are going to have a fair shake immediately. And generational trauma is something he says and something that is a like popular thing or whatever. But yeah, I actually agree with that. And like that's my thing is like me and you are uh eh, people who won from generational shit. Like, dude, we own homes.
Yeah, no. When it comes down to like generationally, yeah, our parents weren't very well off. I don't know, like,
I didn't work any harder than anyone who lives in an apartment as a millennial who also is up to their eyeballs in student loan debt. So, you know.
yeah. I the I'm sorry to entirely switch gears because my notes are different from yours.
Please, let's go because I have another one that is way different. So go ahead.
No, once like I said previously, this class granularity video is long and
Yeah,
he has a tendency to be wrong, you know.
a lot.
Uh, so after the Black Farmers thing, my notes go into the Ibram X Kendi thing. And
Yep.
this, have you heard of him? Do you know who this?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, great.
Yep. Yep.
So this is actually where I'm going to bring up some notes, and I'm not sharing my screen, but he literally calls Ibram X Kendi a leftist ideologue influencer, and Google or Wikipedia or whatever refers to him as an American author, professor, anti-racist activist, and historian of race and discriminatory policy in America. So my only issue is that, you know, he refers to him as a leftist ideologue influencer, and I've witnessed Andrew talk shit about this guy on multiple occasions, and it's like, dude,
Dude, it's so tired.
well, no, it's like a good person and you.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with you. I like what
Big fan.
X Kenny, Ibrahim X Kenny, right? That's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, Andrew butchers his name, but you actually kind of nailed it. Actually, it's Ibrahim X Kendi.
Right.
He always says Kennedy, like his name is Kennedy, like JFK, and it's like that's not his name.
That's unfortunate. So and this is where I don't have direct quotes. So, and this is my thing also, and what we've talked about is I really would like to see Andrew at one point, at any point, reference an actual source. Yeah, exactly. Like a single fucking source. Because he says that social workers at one point in time were told to tell Black women to not have a man in the household in order to receive the maximum benefits from the government.
So he actually, but I mean, is this in the same video? Because I don't know.
Yes.
But yeah, like that's like truly insane. There's just no evidence of that. Like the welfare queen, this whole concept, there's just no evidence. And he actually says he's like, oh, there's no, he acknowledges that there's no like written proof of the conspiracy that he is claiming, and like he's like, oh, it's not a conspiracy. Yeah, it's just sorry. I wish I had direct
quotes. You're good.
Not.
You're good.
Yeah, it is truly sad that the whole welfare queen narrative, where it's just like, oh yeah, social workers were going into houses and trying to get people to claim that they were single and all this so they could, you know, qualify for all these benefits. And it's like, okay,
conspiracy.
Really?
Dude, we're gonna get to the conspiracy theory thing here in a second because we're about to talk about chemtrails and weather and stuff like that. And yeah, so anyways, before we get off this one, you said that was your last note on class granularity, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, excuse me. I have two more. And the reason is because he, in this video, came back to a common theme of his, and he talks about the value of freedom. And I literally have it with a fucking exclamation point on here. We have had that. When have you not been free, Andrew? Andrew, when have you never been free? When have you not been free in your life?
I sorry to get historical on you, but I was covering today how literally probably the only good thing Andrew Jackson did as president was remove the land owning qualification for people to
Voting.
vote.
Yeah.
This is literally just like in the
That's crazy.
electoral college.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, no, well, probably like the only, and it's not like he was extending the right to vote to women.
Of course not.
No,
Just
just
not, or
you
even
have to own property. That's it.
white men. Just white men is all he was extending a vote to.
Yeah,
White men. That's
yeah.
it. Come on.
Yeah,
He wasn't extending the vote to Native Americans or African Americans. Come on, man.
I actually also talked about this, how the Indian Removal Act can actually qualify as genocide under the United Nations definition of genocide.
And who was the president that did that?
Yeah, Andrew Jackson.
Yeah. All right, last one. I have one more note, and you're gonna love this. On the class granularity video, basically the idea behind that is giving a specific group a social benefit. And I am absolutely for that.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I may
Andrew's
have
not.
not said this before. No, I didn't say it. To address racial injustices, you have to make racially specific policy.
Beautiful.
You can't be colorblind and be like, oh, it doesn't matter anymore. And he was like, in one of it, he's like, after 2012, or like he's talking about a time.
Yep.
When race like wasn't a thing, and it's like, yep. Obama got elected and racism was over.
Oh no, it was his second election. Because it was I know exactly what you're talking about. And yeah, it was his second.
And he's basically making the point that racism was over.
Yeah, it was over.
It was over.
Right.
And then the lefties brought it back.
Let's keep going. So number 4 is the elite have fallen. Do you want to flip to your notes for the elite have fallen?
Got it.
Okay, great. So again, I don't have quotes on this one, so I don't have word for word stuff. And that's probably a victim of the later I got into watching the videos. I was like, fuck this. I'm not going to directly quote it. I'm just going to get to the basic ideas and refute them.
And that's kind of his shtick, is like the same thing over and over. I'm sorry, it's just very predictable.
Right. Yep, I agree. And so, anyways, he says America is not capitalist. Yes, it is. And so saying America is not capitalist is just wrong. Is it free market capitalist? No. We live in a corporate global capitalist system.
I'm actually getting to the point where I actually think, because I think about this stuff a lot, I think free markets might be as utopian and therefore unrealistic as communism
or socialism. Yep.
Well, no. So socialism is sort of the realization, in my opinion, of
communism.
Yeah. We can get that later. So socialism is not utopian the way free markets and communism are, in my opinion. And what I'm in my understanding of these incredibly complex things.
And by utopian, you mean something we could never achieve,
Perfect.
but only aspire to?
Perfection. Yeah, exactly. Yes, exactly. Utopian is something you can aspire to, but never necessarily achieve.
Okay. So with that being said, again, do you have more notes? Because my
Yeah,
next note is we do not live in a fascist state, and he continually comes back to fascism, and that we live in a fascist state and we just don't. And I'll get to my research on that later. I have one more note on this video, unless you want to say some stuff. Nearly a fall.
yeah, no, I plan because yeah, once again, like free markets, I've said this many times, and this is where I like start to get like ideologically kind of confused. Is like my idea of a free market is the black market.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but what I was thinking about earlier is like every market is controlled by the supply of the product, right?
With a currency.
Exactly. Yes, what is being used to make this transaction, currency
Dollars.
or product? And this is what I'm saying is like, I don't really understand the idea of everything just being free and unregulated. Like,
Yeah, right. Yeah, right.
your market is absolutely going to be controlled or limited by its supply.
So, for example, a
No,
crazy.
listen.
What?
Every market will be naturally inhibited or regulated or controlled by the supply of the product being sold on that market.
Right.
So there can be no free market.
So this is I'm gonna use a direct example and hopefully you'll agree with me, and it's where I think it is. And so like I honestly think that if Tesla hadn't been murdered, and that's the other thing too, is like Andrew's such a conspiracy theorist, and it's like, dude, why don't you believe in the right ones like JFK, 9/11, and Tesla? Anyways,
I think Tesla was murdered. He lived till
no,
he
no,
was
no, no.
93.
Tesla was no, Tesla was murdered. Anyways, Tesla was like a disenfranchised.
Yeah,
I guess it's a better idea or better word.
absolutely. That's
Yeah,
like the best. Yes, disenfranchised.
yeah. So, anyways, I think power could be free, but at the same time, I think it should be
Hold
regulated.
on.
Hold on. Did you hear what I said?
No, you said power could be free. That
But it
is a
should, but it should be regulated.
okay.
Thank you, Jesus, for letting me finish. It could, dude, electromagnetic waves flow through the air. Power could be free.
Okay. Natural.
Yeah, which would be enough for.
Do you think natural power can exist in human society? So that's what you're talking about is like nature.
Yeah. Yep.
How does that translate to human society?
Do you know electricity flows through the air, right?
Okay. How do humans have power? How does a human have power?
Organic material.
Do you have power over your environment around you? Or just over the people around you? So this is what I'm saying is like, yeah, we're getting like super deep into it because like we're talking about natural you're talking about natural power. Like the power like gravity is like natural power. Right. But like power between humans, this is it. Power between humans necessarily involves coercion. And this is the whole thing that like political philosophers get into is coercion. And like that is literally the basis of human power.
I
Disagree with that, or we should probably move on.
Yeah, we should move on, but what I'll say is this reminds me of Interstellar and the way they
Yeah.
talk about love in Interstellar.
Yeah.
Am I right? Okay. Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. I love that. I love that. If you haven't seen Interstellar, do yourself a
Watch it.
favor and watch that fucking movie. It's amazing.
Right. Right. The 4 people are gonna watch this movie or this video. If you haven't seen that movie, go watch it.
I'll try to bring it back. Free markets is a point that he makes in the
Oh yeah.
Fallen video, and yeah, we have clearly thought a lot about what a free market is.
So Andrew says that we are not in a capitalist system, and the only what we are not in a free market capitalist system, but we are in a this what I said is global corporate, global corporate capitalist system is what we're in. So
Corporate would probably be the best description if you know what corporate, if you know the definition of corporation.
And not only that, but the best way to bring it up with him, because you've talked about how you have to bring things up with him in a certain way. But yeah,
No,
if you call it corporate capitalism, he'd probably be on board with that.
Yeah, he experiences cognitive dissonance when it comes to
again. This video actually has a bunch of stuff that I agree with him on, and this is why I so badly want to have a conversation with him, is because I honestly think that I would agree with him on more stuff than you do.
Yes,
and that's because of our backgrounds. I think he has a deep financial background, which I think is very dated, but it's not irrelevant. So, with that being said, in my notes, there's a lot of stuff in this video that I agree with. He talks about private equity firms, BlackRock, etc., and how they won't be necessary in the perfect next, not perfect, and he doesn't say that either. In the next system that we have, hopefully a company like BlackRock won't be needed. That's private equity, stuff like that. That's a point that he makes that I actually agree with. Because why should they own apartment complexes? Like, why? Why should they own land or like property? So,
aren't they a defense company?
No, BlackRock is not a defense company.
No, I was thinking like the mercenary. Is that Blackwater?
Yeah, Blackwater. Yep. And defense companies are like Raytheon, Halliburton, and
yeah.
Don't get me started.
I confuse BlackRock and Blackwater. I know it. Well, that's things like Blackwater is. Yeah, that is straight up mercenary shit.
Yeah, it is. So, anyways, he also talks about building materials and how we don't need to build houses out of wood. And I actually agree with that.
Like truly frustrates me.
Oh, so I'm sorry. Hold on. My thing is 2 things. Is first of all, hempcrete. We should be making things out of hempcrete. Like that's just a thing. Like we should be planting fields and fields and fields of hemp to make hempcrete. Okay. Also, in the geoengineering video that we are going to link in this video, they talk about injecting, I think it's carbon dioxide, but they talk about injecting a greenhouse gas into rock. Dude, they make a rock out of a greenhouse gas. And my thing is like, dude, if we can make rock out of that, then we can make building blocks out of that. Like we can make buildings out of captured CO2.
So his whole video, or like this whole point that he makes about houses being made of wood is just so dumb. How many houses in Arizona do you think are made of wood?
None.
Yeah, exactly. So this is what I'm saying, and that is because of regulation. And that's what that's why I made such an exaggerative point about how his video this point is so dumb. Because I was listening to this and I was just like, God, you're so dumb.
Can you pause
Houses
this for a
aren't
second?
being made out of wood across the country
Can you
because
pause
of
this for a second?
regulation.
Right, and that's what he says. Pause it for a second, please.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause recording. So yeah, houses in Arizona aren't built of wood. I'm pretty sure California, New Mexico,
Several states.
Nevada, yeah, they probably don't use wood as a primary building material. You know, because climate change is real.
It's concrete, right? Isn't your house mostly concrete?
Yeah, yeah, it's a manufactured home,
Oh,
so it's actually mostly metal.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
Got it.
yeah, it's nice, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's not made of the. I mean, it'll be here. Let's get
Oh,
out.
my house is made of wood for sure.
Yeah, no, I'd throw
But
a match on your house and catch on fire.
exactly. My house was in Pittsburgh and was built in 1920. So
No, yours goes this way. Mine goes this way. So
right. Yep. Yep. I actually recently learned my square footage is about 1600.
yeah,
So
mine's about 14.
interesting. Yeah. And like you said, mine goes up, yours goes out.
Yeah, that's Arizona for you.
And that's fucking Pennsylvania for you. So, anyways, the last note that I have on the Elite Have Fallen is, and this is something that I agree with him. And there's actually a video that I might reference later that talks about currency. And he talks about our current American dollar being a fiat currency, or he says that, which is absolutely correct. Like, Andrew, you are right. We have a fiat currency. That's what we have. Um, but his idea is that crypto is going to be the game changer, or the thing that takes it over. And I'm skeptical slash optimistic. I guess I don't know really how I feel about cryptocurrency.
I feel like if it would have happened, or if it was gonna happen, it would have happened.
Sure.
And I feel like it's gonna be a trickle. It's not gonna replace our currency. It will supplement it.
That makes sense, I guess. Because